Jinny, how are you?
Hiya, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
You getting bombarded with kids knocking on the door? Halloween?
Pretty quiet around here, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad at all. Got a box of heroes ready for them, but I think we're going to end up eating them. So
That's the best part of it, isn't it? Buy too many so you can eat them yourself.
exactly.
I think the bad weather's keeping them away.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Been chucking it down, and as I said, there's loads of fireworks going on for some reason. It's a bit too soon for my liking, really.
It's been going off here for about the past 2 weeks, I think. It's like
Yeah.
in a war zone or somewhere.
Oh, I know, it's awful. I don't even like them. I'm not a fan of fireworks at all.
I think it's a waste of money. You know, you're sending your money up in smoke. I used to love them when I was a kid, but now I just think they're a disturbance.
Yeah, I mean, some shops have stopped selling them, haven't they?
Yeah.
Things like the Sainsbury's for for private use. So, but obviously not all shops have, which is a bit of a shame, really.
I know. You see some spring up shops, don't you? You know, just selling just fireworks, just for that season.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, never mind. So before we start talking about your book, or your books, Preson Panda, tell us a bit about yourself. Obviously, I know, but pretend we don't know each other. What do you do for hobbies and things, and what's your career? And
okay. So I'm a retired special needs teacher. I retired earlier this year.
Yeah.
And in thinking about what to do with all my spare time, I started writing a book. And I've never looked back, and I'm due to publish my first children's book next Wednesday. Brilliant. Which I'm quite happy about. Yeah,
but you count the days down. Are you done independently, or are you with a publisher? You've done this yourself through Amazon?
Independent. I haven't touched Amazon.
Okay.
One of the things I wanted was to be in a bookshop.
Yeah.
And bookshops won't touch anything that's had anything to do with Amazon. So I went down the self-publishing route, and I have done, and I'm not making a fortune. I know that it's my first book. Nobody knows me yet, but I've done it. I've actually done it, and I've got by Wednesday I will have books ready to post out to people.
Yeah.
And a number of books going into to 3 bookshops.
Brilliant.
And I'm going to be touring, doing author readings in a couple of schools and in the bookshops as well. So I'm going to be busy. Like I said, I'm not on Amazon, so I'm not selling thousands of books, but I'm just happy that I've actually done it, and I've done it in a short time as well. Yeah. I'd started it in, I think it was May, and I'm published in November. So I think that's pretty good going myself. But being a children's book, obviously, there's not as many words for a start. So that obviously cuts that out. But the thing with a children's book is you've got to be very careful about what you do write and pitch it at the right level, at the age and the ability of the kids that you want to read the book. Yeah. And obviously you've got to take into account illustrations as well, and illustrations take ages. So I actually hired an illustrator. I probably could have done it myself, but I would have been in 12 months' time, not this year. So sort of bit the bullet really, and hired an illustrator, and she's done a fantastic job. I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
How have you done that? Have you paid for them sort of as a one-off payment thing, or you done like a royalty share, or how's that working?
Hourly. It's an hourly rate.
Okay. But you own it. You own it all. That's all clear.
That's all done. Yeah.
Well, I think the background you've got in education, you're an expert, aren't you? Writing for children and material for children.
Probably. I mean, I've done it for that long, and because you work in special ed as well, normal reading resources aren't aimed at special ed kids at all. And so you're constantly adapting and modifying existing stories anyway, so that the kids you're teaching can understand what the story is about. I mean, you're talking about kids who've got really short attention spans and very limited understanding, and obviously you've got all your behaviour issues as well. Trying to get a kid to sit and listen to a story is not like just getting your own kids to sit and listen to a story. It takes an awful lot of planning and an awful lot of preparation. So so that's what I've tried to do with this book. I've the book, it's a story for all children, don't get me wrong. I haven't written the story for special needs children, but what I've done is I put a section at the back of the book that teaches adults how to read a story to children who have got additional needs or limited understanding, limited attention. And so there's like a resource list, talks about using props to bring the story to life. So it's not just words. I mean, the main message really is that there's more to a story than words. And for these kids, there is a hell of a lot more to a story than words. So, you know, when I do my author readings, when I go to the bookshops and the schools, I've got a suitcase full of props. So when I talk about Santa, you know, I'm going to pull a Santa hat out so that reinforces the understanding, you know, for those kids. And when I talk about, you know, a glowing light, I've got a jar with glowing lights in. So it's just kind of like reinforces that understanding for those kids, really.
Is this the intention for it to be a series of books? You've got this Panda, Preston. Where's Preston? Where's that come from? Is that to do with the town, Preston? Or just
not a clue. I've no idea. It just kind of bobbed into my head one day. He was going to be a panda. And the name just appeared. It just he became Preston Panda. That was it. I don't even know where it came from. I really absolutely have no idea where it came from. So yeah, he will be going on other adventures as well. But not just big enchanted suitcase adventures. What I would like to do is produce some shorter stories to help kids who have anxiety, and you know, say like we would take our kids to the doctors and to the dentist, and it's just that's what happens, and there's no two ways. You try and take, and I'm only speaking from knowing parents of the kids I used to teach so well. You try and an autistic kid to the dentist, well, all hell will break loose, because they're out of their comfort zone. They don't understand what's happening. They're frightened. They're going to a weird place. And the same goes for doctors, hospitals. Some kids have got a school phobic as well. So what I'd like to do on top of the magical stories is create what we used to call stories that will help the kids to understand where they're going, and that it's not scary, and that, you know, mum will be there the whole time, and you know, just try and ease that anxiety, really. We used to call them social stories, and we used to make them in school. And the parents say, I've got to take so and so to the hospital next week and he's terrified. Can you make a story that will help him to step by step? You know, we'll get in the car, we will drive for 10 minutes, you know, we will arrive here, get a photograph of the hospital so they know that they're in the right place. And it's like there's like a whole load of stuff that you need to do, stuff that we just take for granted. You know, go to the hospital, that's it. You know, my problem will be parking. That'll be the only issue that I've got, you know. So yeah, that's kind of like the plan. That's where I'm going with it, really.
It's the theme travels. I've seen like the picture of the big suitcase, you know, with all these different labels of different places. Is that the theme of it? Did you go to a different adventure, different travel, different area, different location?
He will do. He will do. Each time he goes into his suitcase, each time the suitcase glows, you know, he's going on an adventure. So,
Have you had any approaches, or have you approached yourself? I think schools, they must be the biggest market for these types of books, for children's books, schools and libraries. Have you approached anyone to get, you know, I can't think of the top of my head who the official publishers are. Her Majesty's Stationery Office, is it?
I don't know, actually. There's this thing, because there's a big thing with Nielsen's, which, you know, the
what's that?
Nielsen's, which is, you know, the ISBN people. So you kind of have to register with them. You'll know, you've done it yourself.
It's automatic. Amazon gives you the ISBN.
Yeah, I think so. So the difference there, because I haven't gone through Amazon, you've got to, you basically
generate your own.
This learning curve has been like that for me, because I've never, you know, not a clue. And so I've just been doing it step by step. So you get your ISBN number yourself, you buy them yourself, and you convert them into barcodes like you see on the back of a book, and so that makes your book viable then. So you're then registered with Nielsen's, who provide the ISBN. Yeah.
How much do you have to pay for that?
It's something like you can buy one ISBN for, I think, I could be wrong here, somebody might correct me here, and that's fine. I think you can get one for 80 quid, or 10 for 160.
Oh. I've just taken it for granted.
Well,
I've just taken it for granted,
I would imagine if you're not doing it all yourself, you probably don't, you don't have to think about things like that, do you? But so I bought 10. I've used 3 because this book is there's 3 versions of this book, and each different version takes a different ISBN. So, and then, like I said, so now I've got 7 left. So I've got 7 books left, and that to pay for. So
Have you thought of doing a translation, putting it into, I don't know, Spanish and German?
Not yet. I know it's out there, and I know I probably should be thinking about that. I've sort of even toyed with maybe doing an audio book or something. The only thing with an audio book is that it's a visual thing. So I've got to get my head around that. But I've got other things that I need to think about. I'm just made up that I've arrived where I am.
No, that's brilliant.
There's a thing as well with I'm part of like a writing group, and there's like a big there's like this little snippet of a video that we get shown a lot, and it's you've got a book in your head. I had a book in my head. Did you write your book? No, I did. I wrote my book in my head, and that's kind of like a bit aggressive, really, but it's quite funny.
You find it odd now when people say, "Oh, what do you do?" Well, I'm a writer. I'm an author. Have you got used to that yet?
Yeah,
well, that's good, isn't it?
Bizarre, because I've been a teacher for like God knows how long, and now all of a sudden I can say I'm an author. Feels really weird.
Well, have you got big plans? I know everyone has, before the book launch, you think, maybe a television series is going to come out of it, toys and products. And
I would love to think that. I did actually write to, or I emailed CBBS.
Oh yeah.
Just to see if they'd be interested in this new character, but I got nothing back at all. So I don't know where to go with that now. I don't know how you even approach that. I mean, I just sent this one-off email. I probably just should bombard them. I think that's what people do.
I think the first step would be if you got an agent. You wrote to one, emphasising your background. You're an expert at writing these things. It's not, you're not just someone who's just walked into it. You've got a long history of knowledge about this and experiences. Have you got an agent who could help with that?
I haven't. But this is all stuff I'm thinking about for the new year.
Early days for you, isn't it?
It is very early days, and I think that if I was to go and find either an agent or a publisher or whatever, at least if I can say, well, I did all this by myself, and I got into bookshops by myself, and I sold online by myself, and I've got this like quite a decent size following now as well. At least you've got some ammunition then to go to an agent and say, but I've done all this groundwork first. You don't have to do this because I've done it myself. So I've probably got a better case now than I did do, say, 3 or 4 months ago. We'll see what happens in the new year.
Okay. I've obviously we follow each other on Twitter and Facebook. Are you going to create like a Facebook page dedicated to Preson Panda?
Yes, there is one. It's called the Enchanted Suitcase, if anybody would like to follow. And it's the same on Instagram. I've got an Instagram, and I'm author Jinny on Twitter. So
Oh, okay. Well, what I'll do as well at the end of this, I'll put a link onto your website, and so put your Twitter name on the Facebook. So anyone wants to get in touch. Yeah,
cool. That'd be great. Yeah, always welcome anybody who wants to have a chat about it, wants to find out more. I'm happy to, as you can see, I'm happy to talk about it.
So it's next Wednesday then, you're going to get that delivery through the door?
3rd of November. I'm actually getting the books delivered on Tuesday. But I've got a few things on Tuesday, so I can't actually dedicate my whole Tuesday to opening these boxes and starting signing them and everything, because the hardback ones are all getting signed. So I'm going to have a big signing day. And
I've got a special pen, a big expensive pen. Your signing pen.
my son bought me a special pen. Can't wait to use it.
Hopefully you'll run out of ink, that many.
I know, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Send them out to buy another one.
Yeah, it's a good time of year as well to be releasing, isn't it? Before Christmas, obviously that's the big market, isn't it, for children's books?
Yeah, and it's a Christmas story as well. So it's a Christmas Eve story. So I know a lot of people buy their kids gifts at Christmas Eve. My kids always got pajamas, but I know some kids get books as well. So that's one of my lines for selling. Is that if you've got a Christmas Eve box that you do for your kids, then this would be, and it is a nice Christmas Eve story. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you struggle writing the blame on the back of the book?
Not really, no. I think it's probably a bit long. It's probably longer than it should be. Like I said, bear in mind I've never done one before. But it does tell you what the book's about, and that's what a blurb is, isn't it? So I'm quite happy with it. I do think it probably should be half the length that it is, but you know what? It's a kid's book, and you need to know what's in a kid's book, don't you? The adults need to know what's in the kid's book before they buy it. Because the kids are not the ones with the credit cards, are they? So got to appeal to the adults as well, really.
In another lifetime, I was a librarian, and to be honest, I used to enjoy reading the kids' books sometimes more than the adult section of the fiction. Things like what's it called? Where the Wild Things Are. Morris Sendak, I think it was. Stories like that, escapism, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I mean, this is escapism, but it's for little ones,
I made up for it. I'm excited for you for the launch.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll be putting plenty of photos on.
I'll help promote, as always.
Brilliant. Thank you. Very appreciate it.
Can we, I don't know, maybe have a regular chat as each book is launched, maybe, keep in touch?
Absolutely fine. Yeah, great. I'm more than happy to do that. Like I said, I'm quite happy to talk. I actually got another idea for a different genre of book as well, which, I don't know, maybe that's a conversation for another day, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah. It's, go on, tell me about it.
Okay, all right. In a nutshell, I'm a wild swimmer. I go out and swim in all weathers, any temperature, right through the year, with a bunch of friends. We meet up and we go swimming. At the moment, we either swim in the Irish Sea or we swim in the Mersey.
Oh dear, get a shower when you get out.
So there's a whole lot of politics going on at the moment because of the dumping in the seas. I won't go into all that. Anyway, I wrote a sort of a paragraph of my take on getting up in the morning, what it feels like to set your alarm for 6 o'clock, knowing that you're going to go and be in cold water at 7 o'clock, basically.
Oh my God, I hadn't thought of it like that. No, I'm shriveling up, I think, thinking about it. No way.
But what it is with the wild swimming is it's actually predominantly a female activity.
Did you say what swimming or wide swimming?
Wild
swimming.
So you're swimming out in the wild, basically. So you're not going to the local swimming pool. You're out there swimming in lakes, rivers, the sea, whatever.
Okay, like a wild salmon.
No, exactly. Yeah, not swimming against the tide though. So what you find is that the cold water, it's not just about enjoying it, which it is very enjoyable. A lot of it's about mental health, and particularly during lockdown when people were struggling with being stuck indoors and not being working from home and all that kind of thing. And cold water the research has been done in that cold immersion, releases all endorphins and makes you feel good, and it does wonders for your mental health. So a lot of people that do wild swimming have arrived at that point because of a journey of trauma, upset, just general poor mental health, and they sought something that can help that situation. And so wild swimming actually became really, really, really popular during COVID, and continues to be popular now because people realise how good it is.
Yeah.
And so this book that I'm thinking of writing would be a bit of a memoir from my perspective, but also I plan to bring other people into it, you know, my own swimming community, and discussing where my friends how they've arrived at that wild swimming that they do. So everybody's got a story about why they do what they do, you know, like a release. It's like anyone who goes to the gym or goes for a run or what, they kind of that release of that sort of, is it serotonin and endorphins and all that kind of thing, just to make you feel good, you know. So
that's an eye-opener for me. I'd never heard of that before. And when I think of cold water, I think of torture. I think of people being forced to go and have a shower after playing games at school in the cold shower, and lads walk behind you, whapping you with a wet towel and things. And but for the benefit of the health qualities of it, I never knew. Yeah, honestly, it is a really good thing. So that's something else. So as I'm writing about Preston, I'm going to be researching this other thing as well alongside it. So that sounds unique. It really will. I think it's got a big selling point.
Hopefully.
Touch wood. Well, and best of luck with the launch as well.
Thank you so much. I'll, as I said, I'll be sticking it all over Facebook and everything. So I'm sure you'll pick it up somewhere. I'm